What's up, guys? Welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. The new Flunder spell, the new card you see here. It's a continuous spell, right? That I'm looking forward to be released in the TCG. As you know, the continuous spell gives you the capability to, if you tribute summon a monster that needs at least 2 monsters, so I'm looking at Erebus, Aether, right, then you can use 1 card from your opponent, and, you know, 1 card, so that includes a monster, spell, or trap, so that's cool. But small downside is that you have to tribute 1 monster on your own side of the field. Plus, that monster needs to be sent to the graveyard. So let's say here in this case your Pendulum monster, you cannot tribute that if you go for that specific double tribute summon, right? That, you know, you're using your opponent's monster for the continuous spell. Because again, the Pendulum monster will not be sent to the graveyard, right? I believe it will be banished, if I'm not mistaken. So that's, you know, sadly not possible with that. So keep that in mind. But it's not once per turn. So let's say if you have like a double tribute summon live, you could use the continuous spell twice. And then, you know, that's fantastic. So for Monarchs, the card is actually quite fantastic. Okay, I'm playing like, what is it, 5? You know, tribute monster that only needs, you know, 1 tribute monster. Sadly, the continuous spell will not work for that, so there are some restrictions, keep that in mind. Plus, it's not searchable. Well, and as you saw, right, there, it has been, well, I wanted to try out to play more Flunder cards. I looked at the Floodgate, the Penguin, the high-level monster, again, that kind of, you know, is like a skill drain for your opponent's special summoned monsters in attack, that is. That's also the Searcher for spells and traps, you know, for your Flunder cards. So it could search out your Flunder spell or trap, but I'm not a huge fan of the trap. You know, the counter trap compels when your opponent like special summons a monster, and then your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, but they'll get 3 beneficial normal summons. So I'm not a huge fan of that because, again, Domain basically does the same, plus it's in theme, right? Again, long story short, so going second, this continuous spell definitely gives this deck more options to deal with established boards. Again, I mean, more Stormforts, right? That's the deal. And the thing is that, keep that in mind, is if Stormfort's activation is negated, you can still go for your extra deck summon. So for now, the I'm just going to call it Uncamouflaged, you know, the Pendulum Upstart. It's in my extra deck, so a Domain will not be alive. But I can hold my opponent off, so there is the Erebus play ready, plus the continuous spell is still there to tribute 1 monster from my opponent away, and of course 1 monster, or, you know, definitely 1 monster on my side of the field, but 1 card from my opponent. But let's face it, it will either be a Savage or the Red Dragon, right? So special summon Uncamouflaged, use return and then prime. Prime definitely helps out here, you know, providing the extra monster needed, because again, the Pendulum monster cannot be used if I'm, you know, going for the continuous spell, but it's negated, so that's all cool. But yeah, Prime is still there, and oh, okay, that's something I haven't mentioned yet, is that, as you know, Aether also is a tribute summon, right? During your opponent's turn, banish a spell, right? You know the deal. And that also works with the continuous spell. Sadly, it's, well, you know, its effect is negated for now due to the Red Dragon, but Kuraz is kind of making a comeback here. Dragonlink is pretty much out of steam. Again, I don't want Savage hitting the board again. And here, again, something really cool. We know that the back row is the trap, the Dragonmate trap. So I'm just going to tribute it away. Again, during my main phase, right? And do I have the double tribute summon? No, I don't think so. No, 1 is fine. Again, I have the Domain lock ready. Aether in hand. Again, Aether plus the quote-unquote Stormfort continuous spell for Flunder. It's, you know, also a Stormfort plus more flexible, hitting the, you know, in this case, the potential or the very important field spell. Yeah. So it's the card is actually quite good for Monarchs, right? So next example, I mean, the thing is that it's always the same with Monarchs. Going first is something you definitely want. Going second could be a problem if you're facing combo. I'm looking at Dragonlink, putting up Appaloosa, Savage, Red Dragon, plus whatever, you know. Well, then again, that counts for a lot of decks, but, well, Monarchs do, you know, it's much more difficult for Monarchs to deal with those boards. Okay, as you saw, is maybe a strange move for now, and I want to try out more, at least I wanted to try out the option more, is that I'm only main decking 1 Prime, plus the escalation, because again, the escalation with the continuous spell, if I'm going for Erebus or Ether, right, using escalation, well, yeah, okay, it could be, I can just use my opponent's card in the process, right, so that's the reasoning behind the 1 escalation in the main deck, but I'm not sure, that needs more testing, and the theory behind it is cool, but I'm not sure, if it's not worth it. Well, the Prime Monarch is definitely going back in because, okay, DD Crow is still there, is meta relevant. I'm looking at Tri-Brigade, have the capability to banish your cards, right, your monsters. So, then again, okay, DD Crow, is it really going to hit Prime? Yeah, maybe. Most of the time it will hit Pantheism, no. And, well, your opponent is not going to expect you playing, you playing only 1 Prime. So, I'm kind of banking on that. Going second, okay, and this is what I was talking about, right? So Pantheism gets negated, oh that's all cool, 1 for 1, giving me the double tribute summon and the Dystopia, okay, I get why. Kinda hoping, well, I might seem weak by going for the immediate 1 for 1, right? Me needing the 2 tributes on my side of the field, but this is where the continuous spell comes into play. So getting rid of the Sunriser, that's important, and I still have the double tribute summon, and then the Ether is there, so, you know, I need a regular monster on my own, which is Prime, get rid of my opponent's Dystopia. Yep, and Ether hits the board, that's for next turn. Yep. So Ether is going to be bounced back to my hand, and during my opponent's turn, if my opponent has a threatening card, monster, whatever, Floodgate, I can just tribute it away with Ether and of course my continuous spell, my Flunder spell, right? So it's cool, no reason to waste resources here during my opponent's turn. Who knows, maybe risking Gamma, yeah, I guess it's not really going to matter too much. Nibiru is still an option, so I should be going for Majesty, right? Is it on the 4th summon? Not I think so, not sure. But you see the potential of this card, right? If it's released in a TCG, I am definitely going to put it in. Yeah, definitely. No, still do duels ready. So going first again and Camouflage again for the beneficial plus. Keep in mind, again, return blocks your extra deck, so that's important. So first of all, going for the quote-unquote extra deck summon, and then use return. Yeah, you know the deal. So Stormfort, Ether, DD Crow is, yeah, okay, DD Crow on Pantheism, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Mithra for the double tribute summon, and that's the reason why I like Mithra, especially with this continuous spell, because Mithra with the new continuous spell, the Flunder spell, it gives you the easy, flexible double tribute, right? Plus, it could be a board breaker. Unless, of course, your opponent is playing combo, right? Or multiple interruptions, because again, let's face it, it's still a continuous spell, which is vulnerable to interruption. Flash the Stormfort for the Zeus, yeah, and that should indeed be game. Last example, going first again, and Mithra plus Majesty, not the best. Again, get Ash Blossomed, okay, that's fine. As long as Edea is not Ash Blossomed, you can still do stuff. Mithra getting Gamut is strong, definitely strong. Because again, I only have 1 monster. Well, okay, I do have the continuous spell, but again, Majesty's Fiend is only, you know, needing 1 tribute monster. So, but otherwise, yeah, going first, if your opponent has Gamma, you could use the continuous spell as well, if I'm not mistaken. So the main lock is live, Majesty's Fiend is there, that's strong because Virtual World has the capability to tribute summon. Right, so and that kind of dodges or bypasses the domain lock, so keep that in mind, again, if I'm not mistaken. So get, you know, a spell in my graveyard, use Prime, so again, I can tribute my regular monster plus a trap. The trap is live, no? The trap should be live, if I'm not mistaken. Or not. No, not yet. Now it's live, yeah. So the second copy hits the board, but there is Ether, so during my main phase, I'm immediately going to get rid of it. And this should be, yeah, this indeed is a game. So really cool, this new continuous spell Flunder card. Flunder Reese, right, a continuous spell for Monarchs can definitely have a place. Not once per turn, Stormfort, Brain Control, alike card. Okay, it's a continuous spell. Okay, your monster needs to be sent to the graveyard when tributed. And okay, it needs to be a double tribute monster, but still, it's definitely something to play test more. I'm not a fan of the trap. Domain basically does the same. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Likem signing out. Peace.